setup is always the hard part, you know. Bingo. Get this over with. Okay, what's up, guys? There's a birthday party going on. I need to eat and a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, we're gonna talk about dog aggression, and we're gonna talk about why dogs are dying before the age of 5. Then I'll give you guys an update on the yard and whatsoever, but I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible, so bear with me, and I'll apologize. I'll upload a video later, probably tomorrow, and we'll go into full details, graphics and stuff. YouTube, you guys always get it. I forget about YouTube for some reason. Facebook and Instagram, but I will get it to you guys eventually. Let's get it started. We're gonna talk about dog aggression. There's offensive and defensive dog aggression. Offensive dog aggression is that dog that charges you, showing his teeth with his chest all out, showing no fear at all. Defensive aggression is a dog that shows you the teeth, shows you the hair standing up on the back. It's stiff, but it's more head down, shying away from you. There's a big difference in both. And the dog people and people that have experiences with dogs will understand what I'm talking about. Offensive dog aggression is a dog that doesn't fear much of anything, man or other dog. It's a very dangerous dog. That's a very dangerous dog. A lot of people are attracted to that dog for various reasons: property protection, people protection, and stuff like that. Now, the latter, defensive aggression, is a result of being overly aggressive to the dog, or the dog is basically fearful of either what actions you are doing or what sounds you are making or your presence, period. The defensive dog isn't really afraid of your presence, or it's more triggered by an action or a smell. Even it can be even food aggression. Um, the reason we're talking about dog aggression and stuff is because I brought in Dallas, and he's shown signs of both sides of aggression. And people that know dogs know that that basically is a hot bloodline, which can and can't be a good thing depending on the dog situation. Fortunately, we have a situation here where we understand these signs of aggression, and we're basically training him, retraining him, because these are all patterns that he basically picked up when he was a puppy and that carried on into adulthood. It wasn't he doesn't show signs of being fearful. He shows signs of basically not wanting to be controlled. So let's say you want to put him in a kennel, he'll growl. You don't want him to come in the house, he'll growl. You want him to come in the house, he'll growl. These are all things that he does that is basically saying, look, I'm an alpha, I run the show, and this is how I'm going to do it. Well, we all know here that he's not the alpha. And basically, he's going through the retraining and all of that stuff. So, to be honest, he's turning a corner. I can see progress. He's not where I would like him to be, period, because he's basically a loaded gun, and the wrong approach, the wrong mishandling of him will result in somebody getting bit. And technically, he did nip at my daughter, so that's what got him in the situation he's in now. He's more isolated because not even 5 minutes ago, him and Gemma had a little skirmish, all because of the dog food that was in the kennel that couldn't nobody get into, but he didn't want her nowhere near it. So with that being said, he's a hot bloodline. I know it. It's out there. We know it. And on our yard, we don't hide from our flaws. We don't lie about our dogs. Um, so it is what it is. We know how to attempt to fix it. It's not as bad as it. It's not the worst case that I've ever seen, so I know he can get past it. It's just showing him the routine and getting him used and acclimated to different situations where he's comfortable. So we'll get to that point eventually. Um, but any dog, I don't care who you are, any dog that shows you its teeth, any dog that growls, any dog that shows you that it doesn't want to do what you are asking, even if it's just sit, even if it's just move over, even if it's just being on the couch or using the bathroom in the house, whatever the case may be, any dog that growls at its owner, any dog that stiffens up and shows its teeth, wrinkles the nose here, or the wrinkles around the nose, any dog, doesn't matter who you are, if you were Caesar Milan, uh, Terrell from Hall of Fame, or me, it doesn't matter who you are, that dog is showing you signs of aggression. You may think it's cute as a puppy. You may think it's cute when he hits 1 years old. But when the dog hits 3 years old and it bites somebody and you're sitting in a courtroom because your pet that is so loving to everybody in the house that's showing you all of these aggressive signs have bitten the neighbor or mauled the neighbor's dog or killed the cat down the street or whatever, bit the mailman, doesn't matter. You're not going to think it's cute then. This is why people tell you guys to basic train your dog before you get before you get a year. You should already have, before you purchase the puppy, you should have training lined up. When you buy puppies from us, they have the basic training. They going outside, the sit, the stay. They have all of that. You will not get a dog from us that shows human or pet aggression. It just won't happen. We start training at 4 weeks old. When puppies need that human interaction, that's around that time of 4 weeks old. That's when we start our training. We're going to give them the interaction, but we're going to give them the interaction where we need them to understand what we need them to do as family pets and service pets. I don't care who you are. I don't care what the breeder tells you. Any dog that growls at you, any dog that shows its teeth at you, that is a sign of aggression. Any dog that dominates a spot in the house is a sign of aggression. You guys may have heard the sound. It's still New Year's, so people are still popping off fireworks and gunshots. And you may hear the wind. We're in the middle of a winter cold front, so yeah. But yeah, so people, I'm telling you now, regardless of the dog, even puppies that nip at you, that, oh, you think it's cute that it's biting your finger and dragging your sock off and all of that, that is a sign of aggression. You guys need to fix it immediately. Don't allow it to continuously happen, because when you continuously let it happen, when you get a dog like Dallas that hits 3.5 years and it goes into somebody else's hand, you basically handed somebody a cocked, loaded gun. When I brought Dallas in, I had no idea there was any signs of dog aggression. I didn't find out until I went to put him in the kennel to feed. Immediately let the family know. Now the family treats him with kid gloves. You feel me? Everybody, if he doesn't follow orders, he just doesn't follow orders. He doesn't get out the kennel. He doesn't get to roam and play like he wants. He gets out the kennel to use the bathroom, eat, play, or whatever by himself because he's no longer allowed to be with everybody until we can get his temperament where it needs to be, which is still all work in progress, but it can be achieved. Um, but please, people, please. I get phone calls every day of people that can't keep a dog for various reasons. I get the dog back here, and the dog immediately tries to fight one of my dogs, or it immediately growls at me, or runs and hides in the shed, or all kinds of different behavior issues, because that's what these are all are behavioral issues. If you guys follow me a lot, you've seen that this week I've been posting a lot of signs of dog aggressions and warning signs and all that because I'm literally dealing with it here. And it's no fault to the people, to the person that owned him or the person that bred him. These are all things that, as a responsible pet owner, you should know. But not everybody takes that time out. Everybody sees a pet, falls in love, and thinks it's the beautifulest thing in the world, but doesn't pay attention to the warning signs. These are all warning signs. Okay, now we're going to go to the next topic, which is why your dogs are dying at 5 years old or less. You guys just aren't doing your research. You're not checking the bloodlines that you're working with, and you're not checking into the breeders that you're working with. This year alone, I know of at least 6 dogs that are under the age of 3 years old that died just randomly, not because of any situation. They were healthy and just started losing weight and then croaked over. These are all issues that are genetic. And to be honest, there's a bloodline that I'm familiar with here. At least 4 of those 6 dogs that died this year came from out of that bloodline. 4 out of 6 dogs that died this year that I know of, different dogs, came from the same bloodline. One of the dogs I had, and I'd given to somebody else. I know a person that had a sibling. I know a person that had the sibling of his sibling. Actually, it affected a whole litter. Because I know several people that had something out of that litter, or its litter mates, or the breedings that bled that. You feel me? So, and what it is just people buying dogs and not doing the proper research, which is hard to do. But you can also go to the vet and get your dogs checked for all various types of issues. A lot of the people that had dogs that croaked that I knew weren't taking the dogs to the vet, didn't do the studying, didn't check the bloodline, didn't do research into the dogs, or none of that. Um, they're so focused on names of the paperwork, the people that go buy this dude's dogs, and all of this stuff, and don't understand that some breedings just don't take right, and it's just the studies of the genetics. Some just genetically dogs don't go together, and they create heart issues and other issues that lead to a dog's death. But the only way to get around it is to do your research. Check into when you go to buy the puppy, see if that breeding has happened before and how old those puppies were. Check and see, hey, can you send me the mother's last 6 litters? Can you send me pictures of those puppies? Can you send me pictures of any of your dogs that's over 4 years old? If that breeding it took, how old are those dogs? How old were the dogs during the breeding? All these questions need to be asked before you purchase a dog instead of just looking at the dog and then purchasing the dog. Oh, it's cute. Let's go get it. They're going to take your money. They're not going to tell you that, hey, that breeding is prone to heart failure. That breeding is prone to have intestinal problems. That breeding is known for heartworms and all kind of other worms, tapeworms and all kind of other stuff, mental defects and body defects and deformities. These are all things that need to be asked before you purchase a puppy. To be honest, as a breeder, these are things breeders need to be looking out for before they do their breedings. But it doesn't happen. And then people end up with dogs that die at 2.5 years old. Do your research. I know you may feel like you're bugging that breeder, but if that breeder is legitimate and is about the bloodline, about the dog, it's not going to bother you that you're asking 116 questions. It should actually make him happy that you're asking this many questions because that should tell him that you know your dogs. But these are all questions that really just fall back to the consumer. The breeder doesn't have to, nor does he, nor is he forced to disclose this information. Um, Me, I'll talk to you all day long, as long as I'm not at work. Um, I talk to customers all day. It doesn't bother me. You can text me all day long. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't have to do anything with my yard. It could be about your dog. It could be about somebody else's dog. It could be just about dogs in general. I don't care because I love talking about dogs. And I'll tell you about the flaws in my bloodline, the genetic issues, and all this stuff that's popped up in all the tests and all of that stuff. But that's me because I have nothing to hide in my yard. Um, Updates. Gemma is looking amazing compared to her last breeding. Her last breeding, when she came back, she was not eating, not like Zima eats. Um, Zima is overeating now, to the point where we literally have to watch how much we put out, um, which is good. Which is good. My biggest concern is the results of the last breeding that we did with her, and it happening again. So that was my biggest concern. But this is she's completely opposite of when she got back from the last breeding. I tell you, her and Dallas just got into a fight over some dog food that neither one can get to it. When she got back from the last breeding, she shied away from food. She didn't want anything to do with food. So I'm seeing positive results in this breeding. Dallas, like I told you guys, we discovered aggressive issues. So we're going through the training and stuff. You guys will get video and stuff for that soon. We haven't really started it yet. We basically just started putting food in front of him and making him wait and not allowing him just to rush out the kennel or rush into the house or rush out into the backyard, controlling his actions basically for the moment. Soon it'll be field training to where I'm taking him outside and we're gonna put basically all the field training on video. Um, Got to get these guys out for a photo shoot soon so you guys can get some updated pictures. Not really much has changed, just the fact that Dallas is here, so I got to get more pictures of Dallas. I don't have a lot of pictures of Dallas. Um, but with the winter being as it is right now, hopefully it's 80 degrees tomorrow, and Oklahoma is a possibility. So we're going to ride with that. Hopefully that the weather gets better, and I'll get one of my good off days and take them to the park and get a good video of it with everything and get some good pitch snapshots and all of that good stuff. So be looking forward to that. Spawn is being goofy as Spawn. He's starting to get his maturity now that Dallas is on the yard. He's starting to show the more mature side of him. More alpha is coming out of him in his dog behavior, not as in like his interactions with me or anything, but as in pack behavior, I'm noticing that he's starting to be more chest out, more trail curled. So, but that's also a sign of the fact that Dallas is as aggressive as he is, and his energy isn't centered yet. But Spawn's being Spawn. I know you guys love him, and I'll get some more pictures and videos of him soon. So, um, as you guys know, the breeding it happened, so we're waiting to see basically waiting for the puppies to drop and see what that looks like. And as soon as they drop, you guys will get. I'll wait a couple weeks and then you guys get pictures when they're walking and eyes open and all of that stuff, and start the process of taking in deposits. To be honest, I wasn't keeping my picks out the litter. And with that being said, one of my one of the guys that's been stalking my page for a year almost, he's been waiting on a puppy for a year, and he's diligent. I'm not gonna lie, and I really appreciate it. He's offering top dollar for that top pick. Um, he's ready to get his deposit in like next week, and I appreciate it. Um, so once the dogs get here, the puppies get here, I'll have a more general idea of what's available and what's not available, and I'll get the pictures of the available dogs out. Once I post those pictures, then I'll really start taking deposits. Charles just wants to get ahead of everybody. He just wants to get ahead of everybody, and I love Charles. Deshaun, I'm waiting to hear back from him, but Charles is not playing with anybody. He doesn't care who's been waiting. He doesn't care. He just doesn't care. Period. He's like, hey, put me at the top of the list. If you're not going to take the top pick, I'll pay for the top pick. I'll pay you top dollar for the top pick. And yeah, and I'm just as excited as he is. A little less enthusiastic than he is, but I can understand why he's been waiting a year, man. I'd be enthusiastic too. Like, bro, you finally have a litter that's substantial. It should be something significant, and I'd be on it too. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys know that my puppies, when I do have them, they don't last long. After opening up their availability, I've never held a puppy longer than, I believe, a month. So I'm pretty sure that this litter may go the same route, because the bloodline and the dogs are amazing. They're gonna have hot bloodline, but Gemma is the complete opposite. She's only food aggressive. She's not dog aggressive, and she's not human aggressive in any way, shape, or form. She aims to please at all times. She listens at all times. She's never shown her teeth to a stranger unless they were coming onto the property unannounced, and you guys know how that goes here. So yeah, but those puppies, I will guarantee that starting at 4 weeks, those puppies will get behavior training and the basic training for in and out the house and furniture and all of that stuff. Stop, no, and then get out and stay and all that good stuff. So right about 12 weeks, they'll be fully acclimated to be ready to go to a person's home without any issues, I feel, which is what we normally do here. So, and we've been successful. I think we've only had one person want to return a dog, and that was because they bought a dog thinking that COVID was going to last centuries, and as soon as COVID was lifted, they were ready to get rid of the dog. So, yeah, but I appreciate it, guys. I told you it was going to be quick. It wasn't going to be a long one, and yeah, so everybody have a good night. And I'll see you next live, YouTube, and everybody else. I will post a produced video going into further detail about the dog aggression and more reasons why your dogs are dying at under the age of 5 years old.